See, let me say that when the regional plan was considered, like Tudyu said it earlier also, the regional plan was almost brought this time to almost to an ODP level, but with much more study was done at a regional plan level, which actually was required to be done at the ODP level, which has not been done till today. So we can say that when the regional plan was done, actual studies were done, the places were visited, which were identified for various activities. No doubt it would not be physically possible to visit everything, but a lot of areas were physically visited and were recommended for certain zonings and whatever. Coming back to integration of ODP into the regional plan, I think the only point that everybody makes is of the no development to be incorporated in ODPs. Now, we can't go in ODP or other development is not a backward process. It's always a forward process. So what was being insisted on in the ODPs was only to mark green areas where areas were already zoned for the last 20 years. So that is the reason why the ODPs were left untouched, so that the ones which have already supposedly have gone into detail would not be interfered with and create legal issues, etc.
So one thing you're essentially agreeing is that right now the regional plan that we have is in far more detail than the ODPs. You're smiling.
I would say. I would not say it's far more detailed, but at least the study done there was far more than data collected than the data actually collected for ODP.
Okay.
ना प्रमोद
See, it is a difference between macro level issues and micro level
no
issues.
not ते जालेच पूण कितें आसा दुसरे वस्तू आसा कितें हांव ते what has the PDA has it prepared itself to be in a position where I will open the ODP from next month. Before that, some background studies, data collection, assessment of the current situation and problems. Has it been done? There is nothing. They have just gone and published a notification with the approval of the government in the Gazette. Ki omki ODP is open for what? Where is the data collection? Census, today census figures are available in terms of the population. Industrial census figures are available in terms of the industry. म्हापशान दोन इंडस्ट्रियल एक थिये आसा आनी एक म्हापशा सिटीन आसा ते इंडस्ट्रीचो कितें ताजेर इम्पॅक्ट जाला इन द सरावंडिंग्स ते इंडस्ट्रीचो आतां कितें वॉट इज द सिट्युएशन ऑफ दॅट करंट इंडस्ट्री आय एम जस्ट गिविंग एक्झाम्पल they don't have any.
Sir, एक गजाल तुमकां दिसता की regional plan तुमचे कडेन आसा. You know the whole process that was followed. There is a set guidelines, rules, everything that is there. So नवीन काय तयार would it be better to follow such a procedure, such detailed procedure while taking a call on ODPs right now?
रिजनल प्लॅनान काम खूब केल्लें म्हणजे कन्सल्टेशन लोकांचे आयकल्लें पंचायतींनी गेल्ले ग्रामसभाचे रेजोल्युशन घातले जाल्या उपरांत 3,500 ऑब्जेक्शन आयले समजता न्हू कितें सांगूंक सोदता म्हणजे इतकें काम करूनय 3,500 ऑब्जेक्शन येता 3,500 म्हणजे गोंयच्या राज्याक कमी न्हू जेन्ना खूब ऑब्जेक्शनां म्हणटकच आमी गोंयकारांक कितें सॅटिस्फाय जातलें मातशें सांगपाक कठीण जाता
अजून ग्रीप आयला ना ताची.
हय कितके पासून जाय पळय आमकां पूण एक लॉंग टर्म प्लॅनिंग जावपाक जाय म्हूण म्हाका दिसता
तें डिटेलिंग जावपाक जाय.
तें डिटेल जावपाक
always helps.
जे मागणे बाबतुल्यो म्हणटा पळय ते भशेन जावपाक जाय पूण हें सुरवातीकूच जावंक जातलें न्हू कितें आतां सोयेचेर पडलेलें आहा तें इतकेंच केल्यार खूब जाल्या म्हणटा आमी पूण तें डिटेलिंग करीत जाल्यार जायती म्हायती घेवन सगळ्याचो विचार विमर्श जावन सगळ्या लेवलचेर डिबेट घेवपाक ती यंत्रणा चालू जावपाक जाय ती चालू जावंक ना
अजून जालें
अजून जावंक ना थोडे रिजनल प्लॅनान थोडे जाल्ले न्ही
सुरवात जाल्या.
हय
लास्ट दोन क्वेश्चन.
One question.
Yeah.
We're talking about development and everything else. But I would like to know what studies have been done about the resources required for this development.
So that is precisely the point we were making. We were saying that you plan for development taking into consideration the resources available. If resources are not available, let's plan for the resources also.
That's the point.
So that
We have to look into our availability of electricity, water, and road networks.
that is what we are saying is that is the job of the,
I'll tell you, that is one part of the resources of the available infrastructure and its upgradation. But the main resource to carry out real-time development
Human resource.
in terms of creating a cell is two resources. One is the land and one is the amount of funds available to carry out that development. So till you make a development model, which we were just talking about, how the money is to be sourced and how the land is to be made available by
Perfect
making
model
the
cannot be.
people who, because today's development model cannot be made in
Perfect
terms of
model
people
cannot
losing
allow.
their land.
It is like
People are not ready for this. We need to take people into confidence and initiate a dialogue. And that is the reason why even Honorable Minister was just saying that, I had mentioned Section 56 of the Act also being linked to the 29 of formulation of the ODP. But 56 of the Act says Town Planning Department can formulate town planning schemes. But town planning schemes, how is the land resource going to be tackled? Land resource is a very valuable resource, and our past history has shown that people are not ready to part with their land the way the government is looking at the situation. We need to create a development model making the people stakeholders in such
Yeah,
development.
quickly.
This question of mine goes to the Deputy CM, sir. I want to ask you is what effort is going to be made by the planning authorities through your office to make sure that they correlate all agencies in that plan, because we have right now, we have a plan of Panjim City which is happening, which is done by a consultant, whereas the Panjim ODP is being notified. The municipality has its own infrastructure of garbage, etc. It's going in one direction. So everybody is at the moment going in different directions. And I'll tell you, sir, it's very hard to do this because while we were in the regional plan, we tried to interrelate the forest, the road maps, and Konkan Railway and all these, and they refuse to give you this. What effort is going to be made from your side?
We have to say that the Panji City Corporation does rely on the ODPs to do the planning. They don't do it independently. They take into consideration the planning done by the Planning and Development Authority. So there's no big hitch regarding integrating the system that way, because they see the road widening, they see the new roads, they see the garbage disposal sites also. They see all the parameters which are fixed by the Planning and Development
It will not be in isolation of.
It's not in isolation. It's never done in isolation that way. Because the plans are circulated everywhere. Means the outline development plans of the North Goa Planning and Development are with the Mapsa municipality as well as the Panji municipality, and they do follow them. It's not that they don't follow them.
त्याच्या बाहेर वचून काय जावचे ना.
त्यापासून काय जाऊ
एक नोडल एजन्सी क्रिएट केली
हय.
नाही हे सगळे मॉनिटरिंग अँड कोऑर्डिनेशन रोल आपल्याचेर बिकॉज वॉट हॅपन्स इज आय टेल यू सेम रोड जाता तो येता खणटा दुसरे घालता सो इफ वन नोडल agency like a metropolitan development authority or something.
But why do you need the PDAs can function in that
I'm
manner?
just saying.
No, sir, I think, sorry, my point was missed
What
here.
I'm saying
Sorry,
is a
my
nodal
point was
agency.
missed here. I think what sir said is that the other departments follow what PDA has put in the plan. My question was not that. My question is the municipality and there are other agencies who are forming a plan right now. Is the PDA going to take cognizance of that? There are bus loop plans being made. There are so many things. There are no entry roads being created by different planning processes which are already ready to be implemented. Will the ODP take cognizance of this?
Yeah.
It has to take cognizance.
It has to take cognizance.
Otherwise, it won't happen. Nothing will happen unless the PDA synchronizes its activities with the
There will be
CCP.
synchronization. Okay. Last question.
I would like to ask you one thing. Is there any change in demography from the last census?
Of course.
First thing is when you do any planning, demography is the first thing, census. Okay? And second thing is PDA is doing nothing but development control. That means passing the plans and what they are doing. Planning is absolutely zero. Because as a town planner, they have the knowledge, they study what planning is about. And there was a time where planning assistant is to be a civil engineer, degree in civil engineer or architect. And this draftsmen with ITI, they used to do the drafting work. Now they have become like architects. And the planners, I don't know what to call them.
Okay, point taken.
No, I'll tell you, sir, there are many things because I have also some knowledge. What Nilesh is said is very much correct, that you have to plan those fringe areas outside the municipal areas, because it's not only the detailed planning, it's the infrastructure, roads, because in Pune also this thing, thing happened, and then they realize, and now they do this thing, they take care of this thing.
फायनल वेळ सारको सोंपला. म्हाका एक गजाल सांगात, तुमकां दिसता की आमचे कडेन इनफ डेटा आसा? कारण जर डेटा सारको आसलो जाल्यारूच आमी प्लॅनिंग करपाक शकतले. आमचे कडेन एटलिस्ट डेटा आसा जाच्या आदाराचेर आमी प्लॅनिंग करपाक शकतले, अजून तेंच ना.
म्हाका दिसता की आमचे कडेन डेटा सगळो आसा, पूण PDAन सद्या हे नोटिफिकेशन करचे पयलीं कसलोच हेजेर स्टडी केलो ना, कसलीच हेजेर आपणाची स्वताची स्टडी केली ना की what are the demographic figures as per the latest census.
We have the data but we have not studied it.
Nobody has studied, nobody has collated the data to as applied to his own plan.
Ma'am, what do you feel? We have enough data and we have not studied it, or we don't have adequate data and correct data?
We have adequate data, but we don't have the right people to assemble it. Right people to assemble it.
Nilesh?
Yeah, data definitely is there. Data is available in all departments, not only with the PDAs or the town planning department. It is also available with other departments like statistics, planning and statistics, municipalities, mamlatdars. So many data is there. The PDAs have to assimilate all that and come out with a policy. And as Rita said, I really don't see any qualified people manning the PDAs. As Venansa also said, the whole work, the major part of the work is today carried out by ITI grade draftsmen, or to some extent diploma civil engineers. So with those type of personnel, we cannot hope to see planning. Proper planning. We need to man our PDAs with qualified personnel.
एक गजाल दिसता की सगळे जाण म्हणटा आमी ल्हानाची व्हड जाले पण अजून कंप्लेन आहा की आमी अभ्यास करना म्हणून. अशें आसा मुखार आमी अभ्यास करपाक स्टार्ट करतले अशें?
ना, हातून हांव तुमकां सांगता, एक एजन्सी येता, सर्वे करता, टोटल स्टेशन सर्वे करता, फुल सिटी करता, परत पळयता 2 म्हयन्यान आनीक कोण करता. कितले वेळा टोटल स्टेशन, बट इफ यू आस्क फॉर अ टोटल स्टेशन सर्वे ऑर फ्रॉम द सर्वे डिपार्टमेंट, से वी आर नॉट गिविंग इट टू यू, इट इज आवर प्रोप्रायटरी दिस थिंग. सो सी, आई टेल यू, possessiveness of data is killing. I think that is the key issue, that we are too possessive of our data. We are not willing to share our data departmentally. Number one, with the public, forget it. They don't want to share anything. So I think if you start sharing data, then automatically analysis of data comes into picture. People know what is it. That's what you said, that without it, we have everything, but it is not, there is no catalog. It is there, it is somewhere in the godown.
Sir, final words, एक नोडल एजन्सी किती कमी आहे, डेटा असा आम्ही अभ्यास करणार, अभ्यास असा आहे दुसऱ्याक दिना, किती करपाचे?
Before honorable
Final.
Before no, I'll just say one word before honorable minister said
टाइम सारखं सोपला.
कि as this ODPs have already been opened, if directions can be issued immediately that the proposals and the data that is required for the proper formulation should be immediately collated by every PDA. That is the most important.
प्रमोद, यांचो विषय जाला कितें आंदा, आमी अंदाज जाता तेंच्यानी डेटा वापरूंक ना म्हणून. तेंच्यानी वापरला की ना तो कोण सांगतलो आमकां? आमचो अंदाज तो की तेंच्यानी डेटाचो उपयोग करूंक ना म्हणून.
अंदाज आनी मातसो एक्सपिरियन्स येतो.
नो अंदाज तो, अंदाजूच म्हणटा हांव. एक PDAचो चेअरमॅनाक खंयच्या हाडलेलो हांगा बसयलेलो खूब फायदो जावपाचो कसो दिसता म्हाका.
म्हाका लास्ट इतलेंच सांगत दिसता की अल्टिमेटली आमी जितले जाण बसल्यात फाल्यां अल्टिमेटली वी आर टॉकिंग फॉर दी पोस्टेरिटी एंड वी आर प्लॅनिंग फॉर दी पोस्टेरिटी एंड नोबडी वॉन्ट्स to create a mess out of it. None of us wants to create a mess out of it. ते जावची न्ही आनी ताजे खातीर जाल्यार नोडल एजन्सी अभ्यास जाल्यार अभ्यास आमची भुरग्यां खातीर आनी फुडली पिळग्यां खातीर करचो, आनी आमी दुसऱ्या खातीर करनात, आमच्याच खातीर करतात हेंय तकल्यार दवरचें, इतली सगळ्यांची इच्छा आसा. मी इतली बरे विचार मांडल्यार सर आयले. थँक्स अ लॉट. पळयत रावात प्रुडंट. नमस्कार.